What is the single most important thing when it comes to an FPS game? Why are you already asking questions? It's my video. The answer's fun, by the way, but also movement and mobility. But what makes mobility so fun in an FPS game? As a connoisseur of all things fast, and with no additional jokes to be made about the sentence I just said, I'm here to help you find the answer to this question. Now, I'm not sure about you, but most of the time I find myself picking these speedy bitches in the games that I play, sometimes not even intentionally. There's just something so appealing about speed in general. You don't need all these other imaginary stats if you can't even get hit in the first place. Now, there are plenty of common examples of movement in games, such as the slide. Some are stiff as shit and don't really do anything. Maybe you can chain them together. This would be games like Modern COD, for example. But some serve as a gateway into the other options at your disposal. I'm talking fucking Robo Game the Second, Ultra Kill, Neon White, I think. I don't actually remember. This is when you begin to form movement strings, where you do a bunch of shit in a row to keep going fast. Because when games only give you a one-off movement mechanic that doesn't really flow into anything else, it feels kind of shitty. Obviously, some games aren't centered around mobility, but all that means is that when they try to implement a movement mechanic, it usually feels kind of off to me. Like Oryx's dash from Rainbow Six Siege. This shit is stiff. You cannot turn your camera at all. You can't cancel it early. This motherfucker don't play, and his bicep is bigger than my head. But it does let you do this, so I'll give it a pass. Another example is Jet's dash from Valorant, which allows you to move pretty fucking far. But for balance reasons, you have to proc the ability before you use it, and then hit the button again to activate it. Don't activate it in time and you lose the ability for the whole round. Wow, that is really cool and interesting, right? Great attempt. So yeah, movement abilities that flow into one another start to create that smoothness, which really activates my fucking neurons. I'm not sure about you. Like, I know Tank Doom is slaughtered from his previous self, but he still has the coolest movement in Overwatch because his two remaining abilities flow into one another. Slam into punch or punch into slam is the coolest shit in that entire game, and it's not even close. Genji's dash is also pretty cool though, because despite not having another ability that it flows into besides his wall climb and double jump passive, his dash cooldown gets refunded every time he gets an elim, including assists. That's how you get cool shit like this to happen. I'll be damned if this is my clip. Editor Toko about to borrow some. It is also why every single motherfucker on this planet has tried to main this hero at some point. Because they are fun. The movement that goes into movement is fun. There are other movement abilities in Overwatch, like Moira's Fade, which got buffed a while ago back in, I'll be damned if I find this patch, that shit is long gone, where the devs allow Moira to jump and gain verticality with the Fade, which is cool, but just like other stuff like Winston Leap, Diva Flay, Alari Jump, they don't flow into anything else, so the characters, despite having mobility, are just not very fun in my opinion. A slide that doesn't flow into anything else? Mid. Movement abilities that don't flow into other stuff? Mid. Not bad, just not great. Doesn't really keep me interested, you know? But what if you got the movement mechanics? They flow into one another. There's crazy movement going on. How do we take it a step further? Tech. I like to put the A on it for emphasis. Tech. My definition of a movement tech is a specific usage of a game's mobility mechanics to reap more benefit than you would normally get from using it as intended, i.e. a technique. The developers of Titanfall 2 gave you a gravity star because they wanted you to suck enemies in and make them easy targets to hit. They didn't intend for you to throw that sumbitch on the ground and launch a Mach 20, but you know what? That shit is damn fun, so it should be in every game ever, amen. Now let's preface this section about the coolest thing mankind has ever accidentally produced besides me by addressing those who oppose it. Because yes, some people are actually against tech in games entirely.
Tech is just bugs in games. It should all be patched. It's not how the developers intended it. It should be allowed. Play the game as it's intended, baby.
Oh my god. So this is the dumbest argument I've ever heard, so let's not give it any more allotted time than it deserves. Why do we play games? To have fun, right? You understand that much. So then you agree that the developers introduced these mechanics for the purpose of fun, movement, and money in the bigger picture, but that's besides the point. You realize some of the most iconic things in gaming stem from these so-called bugs, right? We could sit here for hours arguing like kindergartens if these are bugs or features, but one thing still remains clear, and it's the fact that these are fun and they do not harm the competitive integrity of any game that they're found in. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Tech raises the skill ceiling of games astronomically high, creating a sense of depth, longevity, and meaningful learning, all of which the devs didn't even have to lift a finger to implement. If you or a loved one have ever been shit on by someone using, not abusing, don't be a bitch, a movement tech, then consider learning it yourself and getting good, or staying in the tech chat where you belong. Preaching that tech should be removed from all games is declaring that you like your chicken unseasoned, all the sharp corners on your kitchen countertop sanded and rounded off, and that you probably walk around your house wrapped in bubble wrap without a single drop of sauce on the property. Roll Tide. Pushing the limits of a game's movement mechanics is fucking awesome. It's when you start to see entire languages around specific characters and abilities pop up. New player says, what the fuck is a turn punch? That's sick. I want to learn that. Horizontal uppercut on DPS Doom. Gravity star bounce from Titanfall 2. Rocket jumping from TF2. I think that counts as attack. Please don't crucify me. It's honestly the main reason people like me are able to make entire videos talking about movement in games. There's just so much depth that can be explored, just like the mechanical depth in that screen you're using to watch this video. It looks pretty good, but I think it would look a little bit better if the subscribe button was gray instead of white. The coolest characters in games, in my opinion, are the ones with the most depth. They require the same mechanical skills as everyone else, ergo positioning, aiming, timing, game knowledge, map knowledge, etc., coupled with their super in-depth movement that's so in-depth that it has its own lexicon. I've been wanting to use that word in a video. I don't even know if I used it right. Leading to endless things to learn and master. It also comes with insane fucking style points a lot of the time. Nothing is more satisfying than taking a character that's extremely difficult and in-depth, taking your knowledge of their movement to annihilate a bitch, and just knowing they're on the other side of the screen just like, I can't say shit. Yo, I just noticed in the script, I wrote, I can't even shit. I just wanted to point that out. Although I will say, being a connoisseur of such miraculous speeds does actually come with some drawbacks. Yeah, it's not uncommon for me to play an FPS game and look at the roster and be like, okay, I like about one character and I fucking hate everyone else. Valorant, I'm literally only playing Raze. Siege, Overwatch, Doomfit. Titanfall 2, wait, Titanfall 2 doesn't really have specific characters, but what it does have is the grappling hook. I needed a segue, okay? Grappling hooks deserve their own section in this video. They are the single greatest movement mechanic in any game ever. Your game's a 5 out of 10, grappling hook. It's still a 5 out of 10, but it has a grappling hook in it now, so that's pretty fucking cool. I have never used an unfun grappling hook in any game I've ever played. Okay, I kinda don't like how Widowmaker's auto locks onto ledges, but like, shut up, it's still cool. Whether it just pulls you toward a specific point, whether you can swing with it, or if it is the absolute pinnacle of movement, which is the Titanfall 2 grapple. The glazing is crazy, I know, shut up. Grapple Pilot is... Stay with me now. Peak. It combines all the functionalities of all the different grappling hooks I've seen across different games. Yes, it can bring you directly towards a point. Yes, you can swing with it. Yes, you can scorpion bitches, and it automatically melees, which is pretty fucking cool. Fuck you. And yes, there is insane tech built into this thing, which you can get very fucking good at. This is unironically peak game design in my most humblest of opinions, so now you know. Now, I could go on and contrast this point by giving you some examples of my least favorite mobility options found in games to wrap up this video, but I honestly can't think of many. Oh my gosh, what did you fucking freaks do to my child? I will keep my hatred of Apex Legends tucked away in my titty pocket for today. What really matters is that we now understand what makes for great movement in games. If your game has some sort of movement mechanic, whether it be built into the game or character specific, nice, good start. If those movement mechanics flow into each other and create smoothness, that's insane. And if the smooth flowing movement mechanics have depth to them where people can forever dig up and explore new techs and tricks to try with them, that, my most attractive viewer with bad posture, is called a fucking masterpiece. Now use all that mobility to move over to my Twitch where I stream a lot of random games and talk about random stuff. Come stop by, give me a follow, and thank you so much for 9K subs. Y'all are fucking crazy, bro. I'm about to punch my screen if I could afford that shit. We are 1K away from the no glasses reveal. That shit about to be crazy. Even crazier than my tromboning skills. Now please enjoy this outro that I was told to put in this video. I'm panicking. Wait. Oh my god, I gotta lock in. I'm nasty! What the fuck? I didn't even see them. I'm doing good. I told you I was nasty. It sounds just like the real thing! I had a combo for a sec. Oh shit. Wait, there's one more.